Actually, I have never forgotten my biology classes. Never. Feminism is actually a tool of capitalism. A client of mine, 37, is currently having IVF while being single. She's, quote, a successful woman according to society. She has great career, social status. But like many women in their 30s, she's trapped in her desire to have kids without having a man to conceive with. So in this video, I want to depict the harsh truth of over 35,000 single women in France who have turned to IVF since 2021, who feel successful in their career, but lonely in love. I will reveal the #1 mistake that led her here. So if you are a woman in your 20s, 30s, or even 40s, because girl, until menopause, there is still hope. I promise. So you can avoid it and enjoy your femininity before time is up. So what is happening here? Classic feminism. Since the 1800s, women have had the right to vote, access to education, the right to have a career, with widened access to exclusively masculine fields, so they can become engineers, lawyers, doctors. They even have the right to wear pants. What freedom! And don't get me wrong, I acknowledge the legacy of feminism. Their emancipation has allowed them to become whoever they want to be. But really though? Did you know? Let's have a look at some facts here. That women's fertility level is at its peak, and so women are the most fertile in their early 20s, between 18 and 24, right when you are about to start your higher education, when you prepare to become a performant element of the modern economy. Then the monthly chance of conception is 30%. By 30, it has decreased by 10%. By 39, it's divided by 2. And eventually, 1 year later, when you are about to enter a new decade of your life, only 1/3 of your maximal chance of conception remains. 1/3. And these stats apply to women. But what about men? Did you know that your testosterone and thus your masculinity will have decreased by 10% by the age of 40? And so your fertility levels are the evidence that you are meant to give birth, and so to achieve the maximal potential of your femininity in your 20s. Those are facts. It's science and undeniable. When I read that, personally I thought, well, being myself a single woman over 35, I am a little bit delayed, okay? And so he's my 37-year-old customer. And then I thought, if only I had known about it. Did I forget about all my biology classes in high school? Because had I known that, I would have led my life differently. I would have made different choices. Instead, I naively listened to my parents' benevolent advice of pursuing higher education, having good grades at school, a high-level career, becoming that independent woman, Wonder Woman, right? And I was never encouraged to think about marriage. Never. And between, I'd like to know, did your parents also choose studies rather than love relationships and marriage? I'm curious to know, because if my environment had been different, I wouldn't have solely focused on career and studies. At least I would have made room for a man, my ideal man. Maybe I would have imagined my dream husband with my kids, instead of wanting a boyfriend, which I ended up having 9 in total since 16, with 0 husband inside. The total operation turned out 0. I would have been as intentional with my femininity, and so with my love life, as with my career. And so that's the thing, is that modern society, through feminism, has robbed us of intentionality and vision about our femininity and our love life in the end. Because knowledge is power. Because when you know about those fertility facts, you act and prioritize differently. And this leads me to the #1 mistake that has led me, my successful customer, and all those women who are desperate about having babies without a man. And listen, this is not your fault because it happened by default, by design. You are never meant to have children. Feminism is actually a tool of capitalism to maximize workforce, leveraging both genders, men and women. Because childless individuals work more, they produce more. Why do you think? And that is the thing. Actually, I have never forgotten my biology classes. Never. Actually, you were never properly taught about sexuality. Fertility levels? Never heard of. And why do you think that the peak of your femininity clashes with you entering higher education? Tell me. I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comments. And so the mistake, I want you to stop. Stop spending your femininity mindlessly. Stop thinking like you have forever to find a handsome, smart, high-value man and to have kids. Realize that you are a finite being and that your femininity has a timeline and a deadline. Start shaping a clear vision for it while it's flowing and alive, and find that man that will allow you to fulfill yourself and to be fully empowered by your femininity by giving birth, so you can eventually become that successful woman who is both ambitious and a mother.